No.
Okay, so
Mm,
uh,
mm.
let's get back to these questions. We were doing such a good job.
Thank you.
Okay.
By the way,
Uh
I'm going to
huh.
put on
Mm,
my
mm.
speaker, my announcement voice.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and hopefully, this update just fixed this problem. But right now, we have Miss Bianca Roberts on the call. She's an online marketing specialist. She's one of my good friends, and so that makes her a good friend of the show. Welcome to the show, Bianca Roberts.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here
Yeah, take three.
on this beautiful, fine Saturday morning.
Okay, so let's get. I'm going to start back with my question. So, what made what made you decide to specialize in online marketing?
I decided to specialize in online marketing because I didn't see any faces that looked like mine teaching this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, there are people out here that are teaching, and it's not one of those things like, oh, if they don't look like me, I'm not going to listen to them. Because I mean, I've sat in classes for weeks upon weeks, spent thousands of dollars to basically get this information because I want to see more people talking about stuff other than branding. I want to see
Yeah,
more brown people doing things other than saying follow for follow back
yeah,
and inboxing people saying, "Hey, buy my stuff, buy my stuff."
yeah,
It's like people take ineffective methods that don't work offline and they think they can transfer them online because there's such a wider pool of people, and
yeah,
it still doesn't work that way.
yeah.
It's like holding up a flyer on the street corner and you're like, buy my stuff, buy my stuff.
And it's
It
a
doesn't
four
work
by
that
six
way.
flyer. It's this big. You like, hey, buy my stuff. Meow, meow.
Right. And I said, I know the people who are making the money, what they say, success leaves clues.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be one of the people to say, okay, you're doing this wrong. And the other part about it is I decided that the marketing piece was something that was really important because yeah, people say marketing and it sounds all sexy, but it's really more of knowing your numbers and knowing what works. And I just said I have to specialize in this because there's so many people that need this because at the end of the day, all businesses need leads and sales, period.
Yeah,
And it doesn't matter what type of business, brick and mortar, online, every business needs leads and sales.
yeah,
Now, the online part is attractive to most folks because they feel like there's billions of people online. I'm going to get, sales. But it's again, it doesn't work that way. It's not, you are standing in a sea of billions of people with your one little flyer up. And what I see a lot of brown people doing, which is ineffective, is the whole let me just grab all these followers. Let me grab all these followers. But boo, followers don't pay your bills.
no.
They don't. And I'm proof of it. I won't go into the whole deep dive of why I know this, but just say I had a page where they had 115,000 followers on it. That page was shut down by Instagram. I reopened another page within 2 weeks. I had another 4,500 followers because my people were looking for me and they were like, where did this page go? If I had built my business correctly, which I now learned, in retrospect, the correct way to monetize a following of that size, then I would have a lot more to show for it. So, as a matter of fact, my freebie on my website at biancaroberts.com has screenshots and receipts about that whole fiasco. It's the very first thing that pops up because I call it your number one asset or your number one thing that you should be building online. So
And I
It's
know
it was
and I know that's for a fact because I watched it grow. Like, damn, damn, damn.
right. That Florida Evans, damn, damn, damn. And even to expand on that even more, I'll honestly tell you from that following, I earned about $60.
Dang.
And you know where that $60 came from?
What?
It came from two people who paid me to post a birthday shout out to their friend, and one of them was to their girlfriend. So $30 to from one and $30 from the other one. I made a grand total of $60 from a following of 115,000 people. That's why I was like, and like I said, I love the fact that I've had that journey and all of these things have happened because I've been creating these little micro brands online behind the scenes for years. And when I say micro brands, meaning I specifically didn't show my face. I was like, these were little fun experiments for me. And when that happened, I was like, I got to teach this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way that I can keep playing around on the internet with these little experiments and letting them crash and burn and, not taking advantage of the knowledge that I have. And interestingly enough, because I can go on about that, I see this a lot with people who have no online knowledge at all. They have no intention of necessarily growing a following, and then they become viral, and then they backtrack and try to put all the stuff in place that I talk about, that I teach, because they're like, holy crap, I was just talking about, like, the ocean spray guy on the whatever. I know that guy was not, his intentions were not to become sitting next to Snoop talking about ocean spray.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more focused on not necessarily, okay, the viral factor, but what would you do if you became viral? Do you have the foundations in place so that you could build a viable online business? And I give another example because I love this. I study this stuff so much. Like the lady, her name is Super Scent. I don't know if you don't really follow makeup, but how she got started, if anyone doesn't even remember this was like 7 years ago. She was actually making funny videos about her sex life and her dating life. And
I
she
remember
became,
Super.
yes, and she became
Yeah.
viral based on that funny aspect of her personality. And now she's got a whole
And
makeup brand.
built an empire.
That's how Kevin
Yes,
Hart got
The
big too.
crayon case.
That's how
Yeah.
yes.
Kevin Hart got big like that
She's
too.
major.
And
Yeah.
there's a vegan lady. I think her name is
Tabitha Brown.
Tabitha.
Yeah.
I
Tabitha.
don't
Tabitha
think her
Brown.
intentions were either. I
Mm-mm.
think she just
She was going into acting. I think she started off trying to, and now that she's went viral, now she's actually getting bigger acting roles off of that.
right
Yeah.
now she's getting voiceover gigs because she used to be told her accent was too deep. And so all that
Mm-hmm.
to say is, if your intentions are not necessarily to become viral and then build a business afterward, I can tell from personal experience, um, trying to backtrack and build afterward is, something that is difficult. It's not that it can't be done, but I'd much rather my folks start with the foundations that are correct, so that if they go viral,
They'll
or
be
if
prepared.
they're prepared for that. But in the long run, even if you're not, that's not your intention at all, you're not interested in it, you just need to have a base in place that is viable, that is capable of not only paying what your monthly bills are, but far exceeding that if you build it correctly to start with.
Yeah. I know several comedians that they've had posts that go viral and it's like, so let me do that all over again. And it's like, no, 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 no. Can't do
Or
the
they
same thing
do
over
the
again.
same thing
That's what I'm talking about. The
over.
same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, mm-mm.
Or like that guy, bless his heart. I don't want to call him out. I don't even know what his name is, but he's dancing. He's just dancing. And then sometimes he brings his wife in. I'm like, I've seen those moves 1,000 times. I don't want to
I
see you
figured.
doing them. No, I don't want to see you roller skating every day Pick something else. We got it. Good.
You can
Y'all
skate real
cute.
good. We get it. What else?
Right. What else you got? When the
Yeah,
t-shirt line dropping? Because you're getting on my nerves.
the t-shirt.
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
So
Or
let me.
like your boy Dan Rue. Is hold on, baby. What you doing, baby?
What you doing, Dan, baby?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
okay,
he
so
done what you doing himself on off of social
baby.
media.
I mean, and again, I ain't trying to knock nobody's hustle, but it's like, come on with
Yeah,
something else.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
yeah,
even though I kind of get annoyed with some people, I get it. You're like, okay, well, this
yeah,
was my thing that caught on. Let me
yeah.
beat that horse to death. You know, that beard guy, the grandpa guy. I forget what his name is. Mr. Steal Your Grandma. I don't know what his name. He's actually,
He's out of Houston, right?
yeah, I was gonna say he's actually Houstonian. Now
Yeah.
he, in
Yep.
my opinion, has kind of flipped it correctly. He's got the whole he's got a crew now, and they're all these really sharp dressed guys and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, there's ways to do it, but I typically think that your first goal should not be trying to become viral off of a thing.
Yeah.
Build if you have an idea for something, then go after that. Don't be thinking, well, I have to go and pop lock in my driveway to get a business started, because you don't.
Do that move again. Let's see it.
I was thinking it. I was like, do it one more time. The pop lock.
Rewind selector.
Showing my age. You ain't got to pop lock in your driveway to get a business started.
Oh, you sound like you're about to be a reverend. Now let's raise offering.
Right?
So Bianca, tell me this: what's your favorite part of online marketing? Because
My
it seems like
favorite
you got
part.
it. You got it on lock.
My favorite part is email marketing. I can't drive this home enough. And people are like, email marketing. It's lead list building. That's why I have a freebie on my website called Lead List Mojo, because when you say email marketing, it sounds really intimidating, and you're like, email marketing, like, oh my God, what?
I delete all my emails. I don't want nothing to do with emails.
Right. I don't want to read emails. I just want to text people. But that's not what we're talking about. It's building your lead list, meaning people give you an email address to get information from you, to know more about what you got going on, what you got coming up. That is something that is ignored, and people don't realize that the money is in that list. The money is in the email list. And when I first started a deep dive into online marketing, I would say 8 years ago, that was the money is in the list. 8 years later, it's still the money is in the list. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. When you send out emails to people, typically what we think of right now is that flash sale email, 20% off and this, that, and the other. But when you are an entity of yourself, a brand, you have you're a coach or those type of things. Basically, you're not in it just to send emails to people and say, "Give me your money." I mean, that is, like I said, the money is in the list, but the thing about it is, when you do it correctly, people become entranced with you. They get excited about getting your emails.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh, she has something to sell. My favorite part of marketing is email marketing, because everything to me is a story. If I can send you out an email and tell you something that happened in my day, or something that stays with you, you're like, oh my gosh, I can relate to that. I get it. You know, my daughter, she just went to got her first job, stuff like that. So when I say email marketing is my favorite part, it's not about sending an email and treating it as a cash register, although you can if you do it in a way that's not slimy and salesy.
Right.
But I love sitting down at my computer, getting ready to send out an email to my subscribers once a week and saying, this is what I have going on. As you get deeper into email marketing, you'll be able to send out something quickly and say, you know what, hop on my live. I'm going to be on the Jamille Harley morning show. If you're not building that as your base of your foundation, then you're missing a big part of having an online business, because social media is great. It's a necessary evil.
Mm-hmm.
But those people, they haven't invested in you in any way. They're just passerbys. They're just likers. But for someone to say, here's my email address, that's the first step. They have
Yeah.
said, I like what you have going on enough to give you this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before you go into the negativity part of, well, they can unsubscribe and they can give me their spam email, that's all true. But the same thing is this. It's the same thing on social media. They can unfollow you and they've never even given you an email address.
Yeah.
Those
Mute
people
you.
belong, right? Those people belong to that platform. They belong to YouTube. They belong to Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook. They belong to Instagram. They have $1 billion lead list.
Yeah.
Whereas your purpose is to build your lead list and get those people into your world. And that's how you algorithm proof your business. I can go on and on about it.
Boom. You just dropped the mic.
Literally, that's how you algorithm proof your business. Because I sent out an email last night about being on this show.
Mm-hmm.
I sent out one an hour before. And those are things that I can literally look at and say, okay, I see how many people clicked on it.
Mm-hmm.
I see how fast some people click on my emails.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's this one guy, I know his email address only because there's the metrics show you who's clicked on it the most. He's always at the top. He will open one of my emails as many times as 60 times.
Uh-oh.
That's the kind of stuff that you can get from your email metrics. It does give you metrics. You can measure from one day to the next how many followers you have or how many unfollowers you have. But again, those people don't belong to you. They have not invested in you. They haven't even given you an email address to say, I want to know more about you away from these platforms. That's how you build a sustainable business that gives you cash forever.
Mm. And I know that you're right, because I have she says you dropping gems on them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There are a small select of people that I when I see their email blast, I'll be like, all right, what they got going on, and I'll actually sit and read through it. Whereas these big corporations that you give your email to sign up for whatever it is, like it's a trade off. They don't, and they're selling your stuff when they get it. Let's be clear about that. You're not doing any, and there's nothing for free. And so I'll just unsubscribe to them, and they can have all the videos and everything jumping out at you. But it's the people that I have that connection with that I'm going to sit there and I'm going to read and be like, okay, so this is what they got going on.
Exactly. And that's how you algorithm proof your business, but not only just the algorithm proof part of it. Like you said, people are endeared to you. They're like, oh, she's really funny. Or, you know what, this happened to me too. And so they get used to opening your emails. They look forward to them, because if you're a person that's not always saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, then they're like, sprinkle in the buy my stuff. You know, you want this is not pro bono. You're not in this. This isn't a free thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you do it correctly, you will have a tribe that will follow you from thing to thing to thing. Yeah. And every time you have something available, when you have something available, they take out their credit card and they're like, take my money. I want your t-shirt line. I want your hair products.
Yeah.
I want your jewelry line. But but if you don't uh put that into your strategy, and again, it's not trying to kind of win over on people, but in a way it is, because as much as you share on social media, those things last for about 24 hours max.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the next layer on top of that is, not only do they only last 24 hours, only 5% of the people that follow you in the first place see that stuff.
Man.
So you're screaming into the void to somebody who's not going to see that stuff anyway. So you need to have your own bucket of people who are like, I ride with you.
Yeah.
And like I say, I love social media. It's part of it's a necessary evil. But because I have an actual proof of concept, meaning I had 115,000 followers and they all were taken away from me, and I made $60 from that. Like, there's no getting that back. Yes, you can build again and all of that kind of stuff. But if I had built my foundation correctly and started just simply with asking for people's email list, I'll give you an example. As a, I guess I say experiment, I sent out what I call a lead, well, not what I call a lead magnet, but what is a lead magnet. And I had 235 people from that list opt in. Now, those 235 people, I never emailed them. I never did nothing. I could have made six figures off of 235 people, to be honest with you, depending on what,
Hey.
depending on what my price point would be for whatever. And I sent that out as an experiment. So it just, like I said, if you had no money at all and you're starting from scratch, you don't even know if people want your stuff. I always tell people, start with building your list. You are leaving so much money on the table by not investing in $19 a month email marketing system. Just start there. And Jay Herman says, what about service-based businesses? So service-based businesses, same thing, same concept. You want to start with building your list. And if that means, hey, opt into my email list to find out more about this course that I have coming up, or I have this program that I can help you do X, Y, and Z. You're providing a service. You want to start with figuring out who you're talking to, so that when you design a lead magnet to ask them to opt in, they're like, you know what? I need this. I absolutely want to give you my email address for this particular thing that you offer to do for people. Because here's the thing, just like when you go into a store, somebody comes right up to you and they're like, hey, let's go ahead and get that couch and put it in your car and we'll sign the sales receipt. Nobody likes that right up front. So you have to lay back a little bit and you say, here is my ebook, or here is my guide that is based upon whatever your service is. So you're a coach, you are an empowerment coach for women. You can provide them a guide to say 5 things that you can do to feel empowered today. And they can opt into that and then get to know you before you say, get on my coaching call. And then you say, hey, here's what my coaching prices are. It's a conversation, it's a dance when you start with the email list, instead of them walking up to your quote unquote website and everything's $499, buy now. People don't operate that way. And I think a lot of folks think as marketing, especially with the email piece, as an additional step. They're like, oh my God, I got to do something else. I got to post 7 times on social media and I got to do this. And I will simplify it all for everyone. The two things that you need to focus on is growing your list and making offers to your list. Growing your list, making offers to your list. Growing your list can be free ways that you do that. Growing your list can be, paid ways. And I can do that too. I can show you the paid ways. So again, I can go on and on about email marketing because again, I don't see brown people talking about this or teaching this enough because it always seems like it's some secret, like, well, how did this person make $1 million? Mm-hmm. And if you go to some of these pages of people that you may admire or you may think are gurus or whatever the case may be, you can see on their pages that they're asking people for emails.
Yeah.
You can see that they're advertising. And so many people think, well, that's that guru. They have money. They can do that. But you can do the same thing. That's what's so great about social media is because it's a pay to play platform in many ways, if you really want to be seen. But you can advertise right next to Oprah Magazine. Hello. If you put, you know what I'm saying? It's not closed to you. And a lot of people don't understand that. Mm-hmm. I would absolutely spend money on running an ad to grow an email list before I would spend money on running an ad saying, buy my thing, buy my thing.
Yeah.
Because the people will run from buy my thing, buy my thing. Mm-hmm. But if you've given them something, hey, here's a checklist that helps you avoid stress. Here's a checklist that will show you how to clear up your skin naturally. And I'm not asking you for anything but your email address to get into my orbit first. And then you can decide, why I don't like this stuff, I can unsubscribe. But at least they were invested enough to give you an email address up front so that you can sell to them later. Because nobody likes to be sold immediately.
Yeah.
They like to buy. They love to buy.
Yeah.
It's not genuine. People love to buy. We've proven that even with this pandemic, people are making money hand over fist. And it's like, oh, well, how do you do it? And I'll give you one other example, and I'll shut up about this because I can go on and on. I'm in 100 million groups. Everybody's offering to put me in groups. And they're like, come to my group, come to my group. It's good because it's marketing research for me. I like to see what people are complaining about, what they're having issues about, because I can speak to some of those things. And so this lady's in this group and she's complaining about how she hates social media and she feels like she's pandering to the same people over and over again. And in a way, she's correct, because if you have a group of followers, let's say you have 2,000 followers, and you're stuck, quote unquote, at that 2,000 followers. Every time you post something, you're just talking to those same 2,000 followers over and over and over again. And so she's in this group and she's complaining about it. And she said, you know what, y'all? I'll tell y'all something. I just ran a couple of ads and I had 3 sales back to back. That's a game changer for me. And she doesn't even specialize in marketing like I do. She basically gave them the answer right there. And they glazed over and just kept on talking about other stuff. She literally said, I just set up an ad and had 3 sales in 2 days. That's a game changer for me. And nobody picked up what she was dropping down.
It's like, but anyway, girl, what are we talking about?
Right. Let me go ahead and inbox Mama Joe and send her a message and tell her I'm selling lipstick.
Mama Joe.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we have access to everything. Now, if advertising or spending money on advertising gives you heart palpitations, then maybe you're not ready for it yet.
Yeah.
You know? So start with the email marketing and spend a little $19 a month and build your list first. If spending $150 or $200 is giving you heart palpitations and it makes your hands sweat, then don't start there.
Yeah. So Rick says this is some good stuff. Same thing I tell our people. Hopefully we start listening instead of playing on Facebook. And Kaylin, I see you. Kaylin, this is going to be uploaded on my podcast, The Audacity with Jamille Harley. And we can talk about that later after this show. But this is some really good stuff, and you're talking about price points. So this takes me to my next question. What do you think is the most important way to start marketing with the limited budget?
Like I said, with the limited budget, I would recommend you sign up for an email service provider. Most of them are very inexpensive. MailChimp is one of the ones that I know is absolutely free, and it's free up to 1,000 subscribers. The one that I love that I personally use as my tool is called Flowdesk. Flowdesk is $19 a month. Just start there, because here's what you can do. If you're like, look, I ain't got all that money right now, you start off with getting a free, you don't even have to have a website. But if you do have a website, that's great. If you already have a website, you get your email marketing system installed onto your website. So, when you go to somebody's website and there's a pop-up that comes up and it says here, instead of doing the pop-up and saying subscribe to my newsletter, because anybody can say subscribe to my newsletter, we don't want more emails. Mm-hmm. Where you want to start is try to think of something that your ideal audience would give their email address for. What do they struggle with? What keeps them up at night? What would be something that's in your expertise that would help them? And then when they go to your site and they see that pop up, it speaks to them, because they're like, well, shoot, I do want to know about this. If I'm going through the change and having hot flashes and you've got some kind of note on here about how you can help me with my hot flashes, think about stuff that will help your ideal customer. And then from there, you install that pop-up on your website and you start promoting it. Now, again, you can promote it in free ways and you can promote it in paid ways. The obvious free way would just to be start telling people about it. Hey, go check out my website. I got this free guide on there that will help you do X, Y, Z. Yeah. And just start telling it. Now, of course, in the beginning, it might just be your mommy and them. Because your mama gonna support you in everything. So
won't you, baby? Won't you, baby? You'll support me in everything.
Oh, my baby got one of them things on her website. Go check it out. And the first thing you do is you see your mama's email address. In my case, it's my dad's email address.
Let me see what my baby doing. Go on, get this email. Go on, get this email.
But you start there, and once you get into the rhythm and the groove of refining, so maybe your first offer, your first freebie that you offer doesn't really do that great. That's good feedback for you, because then okay, I need to change this offer. Because here's the thing, you could offer free stuff all day long.
But do they want it?
They don't even want that. And instead of spinning your wheels and creating heartburn for yourself and creating a product, you might have to start over, and you've saved yourself time and money, because before you build out a website that says, here's the best widget ever, you've already asked people to opt in to get information about your widget. And guess what? If nobody wants it and you promote the heck out of it, then that's not a viable idea. Yeah. Start over. And you've saved yourself a lot of headache. Yeah. So that's what I would tell people to start. First of all, sign up for your email service provider. Create your freebie, whatever that's going to be, and then start promoting it.
Okay. And I got a shameless plug, because I got something like that on my website, thanks to Miss Bianca Roberts.
I love it when people do that.
Go to www.jamilleharley.com right now and download Mystery Lady absolutely for free for your email address. Everybody, go on and get the song for free. It costs me $1 million. It costs you nothing. Just give me that email.
I love it. And it'll become a game, or it'll become exciting for you when you look down on your phone and you see new subscriber, because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, 400 people want to get this thing, whatever that thing is. And again, that's where I would start with the very basics, limited budget, because don't focus so much. I'm not going to say don't focus on social media, but the foundations of making a big impact and making some money that you can provide for your family and other people is starting with that doggone lead list. We're going to stop calling it an email list, because when people think
Lead.
email, they're like, that's boring. Email.
Yeah.
Those are your leads, sweetheart.
Yeah,
That's
lead
your
list.
leads.
So is advertising for everybody? Should everybody start advertising?
No, advertising is not for everybody. And that's one of the reasons why I like to have people book consultations with me. Because one of the things, like I said earlier, if you start getting heart palpitations thinking about spending some money on advertising, then it may not be for you right now. But here's some tips for you. First of all, have you sold that thing before? And I'm not talking about selling it to your mama and them. Because what advertising does is it only elevates whatever you've done so far. So if you've sold it to 5 people and you know, okay, these 5 people like this thing, then I'd say go ahead and start some advertising. But if you don't even have like a website up, believe it or not, I've had many people reach out to me and book consultations with me. And I've just told them, you're not ready for advertising. I would not recommend that you do that. You don't even have a functioning website. Because here's what advertising is going to do. Advertising cannot make your product better. Advertising cannot make your customer service better. There are things that you need to have in place, because what I like to call it, I say advertising is like putting hot sauce on the fish plate. You have to have some stuff on there first, and then you dash on the hot sauce.
You just can't pass out a plate of hot sauce and be like, "Here go your hot sauce."
Right.
Could have kept that in the
Then
bottle.
right. Like you need to have the sides too. You got to have the full plate, and then you whip out the hot sauce and just dash it on top. Because all advertising will do is just increase the results that you're already getting. So if you're an author and you have a book and people are buying your book and they're like raving about it, and you're like, oh, this is doing well, then absolutely I would recommend advertising. But again, it's not for everyone. Um, like I said, I'm not a tax advisor, but I will say if you have a business entity with the state and you spend money on advertising, it's a tax write-off. So I can't tell you what your pockets look like. I can't tell you that, you spend this money right now and you'll get it back, because you may not have a business entity. Again, I'm not a tax advisor, but just to know that money that you put into your business, if you have an actual business entity, is something that you can write off. So instead of you having a heart attack over, I'm going to spend $150, just know that that's a business expense.
And you can get it back. Yeah.
Right. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
That will be considered an investment.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, these were all some good points. So what I would suggest anybody that's listening right now is to go to BiancaRoberts.com. Give her your email address. So she can help you out. Yeah, this when we're in the new age where a lot of us are like, okay, we were going the wrong way. Let's try to be more self-sufficient, more independent, to where we have more say-so over our lives. And so you have more people that are starting businesses that are actually looking at their talents and being like, well, I'm confident enough. I can do this and I can start this. So you need, and listen, I've been fighting this for the longest, just because people that know me, some people will call me frugal. Some people will call me cheap. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm somewhere right in the middle, depending on what it is. And I've known for a long time that I've been at a place where I needed, some marketing assistance. I bought books. As a matter of fact, one of the best books that I've ever read was Contagious, Why Things Catch On, by Michelle Berger. I think I'm messing up her name. And I've spent time on YouTube and things of that nature. But with everything that I'm doing, it's like I need somebody that specializes in this to take some of this stuff off my plate so I can focus on the content that I create or whatever it is that I create and leave that and delegate that to somebody that actually knows what they're doing. And so that's why Miss Roberts is here today, because she knows what she's doing.
And a lot of us are like that. We're multi-passionate about many things, but we need someone that is like, okay, let's figure out how we can get this idea that you have or this product that you have out to the masses instead of you spinning your wheels trying to collect followers like these are my precious. Because I'm going to harp that over and over again. Followers do not equal cash in the bank. And what you will see is an incremental increase in your followers as you advertise and you get more eyeballs. Because just like the example I gave earlier, that lady is absolutely correct. When you post something on social media with your core audience or however many followers you have, you are basically preaching to the same people over and over again. And you need to elevate and lift yourself out of that. And the way that you do that is by doing the email marketing, and then you throw the hot sauce on top and you continue that conversation. Because what you will find is as people opt into your email and you have all your social media links in them, then they're going to start following you on other stuff that they didn't know you had available.
Yeah.
And it will become this circle of constantly saying, oh, I didn't know they had this. And then they click on that. Everybody falls down the internet rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not going to say social media followers aren't important. And it is kind of impressive when you go to someone's page and you're like, they have 115,000 followers. But I bet you there's somebody out there. Matter of fact, I do know a couple of people that's out there that have less than 15,000 followers and making bank.
Oh, really?
Bank. Like bank. Because they're using advertising as their cash machine for their programs, the stuff that they teach. So again, I can go on and on and on about this because of the pandemic, I'm actually pretty happy that all of that happened, because in my social group and in my world, I've always been like the crazy person. Like, what is she talking about with this online stuff? And she's been talking about online stuff for 7 years. And now they're all coming to me. Well, can you help me set up my email campaigns? Can you
for
do
$1 million.
Right. And right now I'm real cheap. I'm not gonna go into pricing and all that kind of stuff. I'm really, really cheap because I want to get some people's stuff going and get some testimonials under their belts. And then I'm going to be like, I got to raise these prices, child.
So speaking of getting clients, so what are like, and you've already said it, but I just want to group them up into this one piece. What are the top 3 things that one needs in order to even seek out a professional like you? You said a website, like
you need a website.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, if you have a website, in order to be able to do the back end stuff, like the advertising, the main players are Facebook and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go ahead and set up a business page on Facebook. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that you have to advertise on Facebook. Maybe you want to advertise on Instagram only, but the shell of it is that you have to create the business page so that it will allow you to create your ad manager account. And when you get to the step of advertising, there's a button that says advertise on Instagram only or advertise on Facebook and Instagram. So I would say, just to get started, create those things so that I don't have to walk you through making a business page and doing all that kind of stuff. So I'd start with getting your website, creating your business page. Make sure you have your email service provider created or set up. If you want to start with the free email subscriber or subscription service, like I said, start with MailChimp. Jay Herman says, what about LinkedIn? I don't specialize in advertising on LinkedIn, but give me 90 days and you might see my ad running by on LinkedIn too. Shoot.
You know, that's
I'm,
one
I'm
platform that I never even touch is LinkedIn. I peek in to see who been looking at my page and see if somebody's sending me a
Me
request.
either.
And then I'm like, all right, let me moonwalk on out this situation.
yeah, and LinkedIn is it's kind of buttoned up over there, very, very business-like. I'm not saying that that it's just the same thing with Pinterest. A lot of people don't think about Pinterest in terms of what the power that's behind that. They think of it, as just another social media platform, but it's
Crafts
actually
and stuff.
it's a powerful search engine. It's similar to Google if you really want
Yes.
to really want
I
to.
It
keep
We're
hearing
not
that. I keep
we,
hearing that.
we're
And
not
I
going down that
is.
rabbit hole
It
yet,
is.
but long story short, there are and back to what Jay was asking about, what about LinkedIn? I mean, like I said, full disclosure, I don't specialize in LinkedIn advertising, but LinkedIn is more like, this is my business entity, right? She says more B2B. This is my business entity, and this is what I offer, blah blah blah. But I can't say depending on what your business is, you might find a heck of a lot of leads there that will, drive profits for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
She says Pinterest is the largest search engine ahead of YouTube. Is it?
I
What?
like how you said that. Is it?
No,
There,
wow. Like,
there is a
I
lady
don't
out
know that.
here right now. She is one of my she's one of my mentors, but she doesn't know she's one of my mentors. And she's offering a course on Pinterest. I can't tell you how much her course is off the top of my head, but now that I see her diving into that in terms of offering a course on it, then I know that's going to be where the next wave of her followers go, if that makes sense. Because when I see her advertise a course for something, I'm like, okay, so that's going to be the next wave where people start planting their flag and going. But again, that's because I'm like nerdy about this stuff, and I got like my top 3 people that I dissect every ad they write. I dissect all that stuff. So yeah, Pinterest is a food. I wish I had a Pinterest course that I could promote, but I don't yet. And Jay Herman says, I want the Pinterest course. We'll talk later on. I think I'm going to talk to her later on today. She booked a consultation with me.
Hey, Jay, right on. Booking with me.
But yeah, like I said, you got to shut me up because I can go on and on because I'm literally that geeky person who sits behind my computer and I look and see. I try to beat my email open rates from one week to another. Like I'm literally, I don't look that nerdy, but my man is like, oh, here she goes. She talking about a new subscriber on her email. He'd be like, well, okay.
Thank you, Kaylin, for joining into the show. I appreciate you being here. Jay says, I know Bianca is the shut your mouth.
Oh, thank you, girl. Thank you.
She the honey iced tea.
I paid her to say
that. Well, I appreciate Jay for coming on too. That's a new face. I was like, what up, Jay? We got a new face. I want to thank Rick
sent
for
out
showing
a blast to my list. I said, come on, see me.
Hey.
So, Quiana, you got any questions? I mean, I just been talking the whole time, me and Bianca.
Oh no. My questions will come afterwards because I got my wheels have been turning. So I got some things, some offline personal questions.
Well, you can go to biancaroberts.com and
I sure will. Think I won't.
Click on book a consultation and we can talk for 30 minutes.
Chandra says,
and it's free.
This has been very helpful. Thank you for sharing with us.
You are speaking my language.
Awesome.
She make sure you go sign up at biancaroberts.com too.
I better see some new subscribers on my email list when I get off this thing. I'm just playing.
No, you serious?
I'm just playing. I'm gonna slide that in there.
Well, listen, in closing, I really appreciate you taking the time out to come to the Jamille Harley Show and join me and my guest, my co-host, Quiana Quarles.
Thank you for inviting me. This is my you've broken my podcast cherry. I don't know if that's appropriate to say.
Yes,
She
right
said,
now I am a sponge. Yes.
Yeah, MailChimp is the free one that I talked about. It gives you
MailChimp.
free
Is it
subscribers.
Chimp or is it Champ?
Chimp.
MailChimp, like a monkey. MailChimp.
Okay.
It's free up to 1,000 subscribers. So sign up. If all you do today and take away from this is sign up for MailChimp, and I can walk you through the rest of creating your lead list, your lead magnet, and get you off and running on that.
Yeah, this has been a wealth of information, and I hope that hope that the people listening actually were taking notes so they could really apply this, because I mean it's cool to post sexy pictures and cute dreamy eyed pictures with your eyelashes and with your muscles and stuff, but I mean that's not going to generate no bill. I mean, unless you're selling yourself, trying to do something strange for a little piece of change or something, as Mike Epps would say.
Right. I'm not booking them kind of appointments. I'm not booking them kind of appointments.
I'm not booking them type of appointments.
Nice to meet you too, Kaylin.
And so, to my listeners, so the JamilleHarley.com, but JamilleHarley.com, it now has a podcast section. So in that section, you're going to see the actual podcast audio, and then I'm actually incorporating the Jamille Harley Morning Show in that too, so you can have a wide variety of content, of speaking points. And I have friends and associates that really spill into me, and so when I get spilt into, I want to spill into y'all. Amen. Amen. All right. We spilling into people. Pause.
Pause.
Yeah. But you can go to the
collection plate.
You can go to the Jamille Harley Morning Show. You can download Mystery Lady, which is now free for a limited time only. But you got to give me that email address and then click on the podcast section. And this episode will be posted there shortly after sometime this week. So you can get the whole show. You can get all of Bianca's information. You can get Quiana's fun fact and her self-care regimen. And you can even get our friend to the show, Coach Willie Earl. You know what I'm saying? Got to
Willie
put that
Earl.
out there.
I like that name, Willie Earl.
But that is the end of the show. I want to thank everybody for hanging along with us. I want to thank Rick for chiming in. I ain't seen you in a minute, brother. Good to see you. Kaylin, good to see that you finally made it onto the show. She always glad that you came onto the show. And Miss J. Herman, you did that today, woman. You came through. You came through with the questions. Appreciate you. And make sure you keep coming back to the Jamille Harley Morning Show, because we got a seat for you.
It was fun. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And that has been our show. And we'll see you back here next week.
You are now listening to the Jamille Harley Morning Show.